You, Hemant, what you did in the last 3 days? Polity Bear Act. Completed full? Huh? Excellent. Okay. Good. Still anything? CSAT you are doing? Comprehensive you are doing. Okay. Good. Prabhu. Good morning, Prabhu. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Durga. So, Prabhu, what you did in the last 3 days? Started CSAT. Hemant, you? CSAT. Berak మొత్తం అయిపోయిందా? Okay, you are doing it now. What you did? You completed the pending classes? Answer అది చేస్తావు ఎక్కువ టైం ఉంటుందా? నువ్వు అతి కష్టంగా మాట్లాడుతున్నావు. ఇంకొంచెం ఒప్పిస్తుందని చెప్పడానికి. What you did? Durga, when did you come back? Okay. Great. Abdul. How many of you started doing CSAT? CSAT start chesara cheyadam? Everyone. Huh? CSAT. How many of you started doing meditation? Meditation. Meditation is also a part of preparation. Adu kuda oka subject lage chadavandi ani cheppanu. Right. So very good morning, online students. Good morning, Abhi, Pujita, Sumant, Srilekha, Lalit, Hari Krishna, Nayak, Venkatesh, Sai Priya. Sai Priya, you didn't come to Hyderabad yet. Vikas, Yashwant, Indu, Rashmi, Sudharma, Chandrasekhar, Sahitya, Parvatagiri. Good morning all. So today we'll continue with our economic classes. But before that, from today onwards, how to schedule your time, you know, right? So there should be always a revision slot for the subjects that we have done. At any cost, all the students who are attending, you have to clear prelims. So revision slot will be in the following way. Always give your time, 2 hours of class and half an hour revision of polity. Exclusively half an hour revision of polity you give. And then half an hour meditation. These 3 things, consider this is my work and you do it. These 3 things. Meditation, 2 hours, class, revision of polity and this. The rest of the time, don't forget CSAT. Em chesina cheyakapoyina CSAT marchipokandi. And from today, in your slot, you have to accommodate 1979 onwards. Economy. Is it uploaded PDF? 1979 onwards, economy bits. You do it until 2007. From 2008 onwards, we'll be discussing it. So this is one extra thing that you have to add. And by the time I complete economy, you have to complete vision test series. Test number 7, 2021. So far 2021 is not yet released. 7 you have to complete. And you have to attend my classes and you prepare the notes or whatever you want. It will be clear. So this is the next slot. We are starting with the subject of economy. Right. Economy is very easy if you understand basics. Arthamote chala simple economy cheyadam. Right. But your thought has to go with this. 2 hours class, revision polity compulsory ga half an hour undali, half an hour meditation. Those who have not yet started meditation, again I am saying meditation is half of your preparation. Meditation is half of your preparation. Why I am saying this? This exam is not about knowledge alone. It is how we are going to handle our nerves. ఆ 2 hours లో ఎవరైతే ప్రశాంతంగా నర్వ్స్ అంతా హ్యాండిల్ చేస్తారో It has to come to your body, బాడీ ఎలా రియాక్ట్ అవుతుంది అనేసి మీకు తెలియాలి. హౌ యువర్ బాడీ ఈజ్ రియాక్టింగ్. ఇన్హలేషన్ ఎక్కువ జరుగుతుందా, తక్కువ జరుగుతుందా, అంత లోపలికి ఫోకస్ వెళ్ళాలి అంటే ఫ్రమ్ నౌ ఆన్వర్డ్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు స్టార్ట్ మెడిటేషన్. లాస్ట్ మెడిటేషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే కుదరదు. ఇప్పుడు నుంచి స్టార్ట్ చేస్తేనే యూ కెన్ గెట్ ద గ్రిప్ ఆన్ యువర్ ఎంటైర్ బాడీ. The moment you start getting grip, our meditation has to be in such a way that whatever is happening internally, it should be reflecting you. Okay, నాకు ఇది అవుతుంది, this is happening to me అనేసి తెలియాలి. So to such an extent you have to go. For that 30 minutes minimum you have to do meditation. What you can do, you can follow some guided meditations. Just to కూర్చోవడం కంటే you can keep some guided meditation backside and you can do. When you are sleeping also, you can try like yoga nidra లాంటిది. Yoga nidra meditations will be there. So these are two things that you have to add. And next thing is observe the sun every day. Observe the sun. Sun gives us energy. Again, I am saying 30 minutes meditation. Afterwards, observe the sun and just sit before the sun for a few minutes. This is most important. Subject ఒకటి కాంప్రమైజ్ అయినా పర్లే, అంత టైం లేకపోతే కనీసం ఒక సబ్జెక్ట్ లో ఇదైతే పెట్టండి. సో మెడిటేషన్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ వన్ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్. ఎగ్జామ్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ half of the exam is knowledge, half of the exam is how we handle. హ్యాండిల్ చేయాలంటే ఫస్ట్ మెడిటేషన్ అవసరం. అగైన్ ఐఎమ్ సెయింగ్. సో ఫ్రమ్ నౌ ఆన్వర్డ్స్ ద ఎంటైర్ మార్కెట్, అగైన్ ఐఎమ్ సెయింగ్, ఫ్రమ్ నౌ ఆన్వర్డ్స్ ద ఎంటైర్ మార్కెట్ విల్ బి ఎంటరింగ్ ఇన్ టు ప్రిలిమ్స్ మోడ్. And slowly there are I think 125 days till today. 120, 125 days, 124 days are left. So everyone will be studying about prelims in the next 100 days. So don't get carried away. Be consistent in your preparation. Be confident on your preparation. Don't get tense. Nothing. Work ఏముందో, think about the work that we have. Start to prepare చేసుకోండి. What is the work that we have? Don't think about when exam is going to come, how we are going to tackle. No. Next moment, what is the work? Next hour, what is the work? Next hour, what is the work? Divide that in that way and go ahead. Don't think about the entire day also. Just think about small fragments. Right? Again, I am saying everyone will be busy in prelims. Everyone will be doing different types of things. No need to show, no need to get attracted to anyone. ఏ బుక్ కైనా సరే దేర్ స్ట్రాటజీ ఆఫ్ ప్రిపరేషన్, నథింగ్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. బీ ఇట్ ద టాపర్ ఆల్సో, నో ప్రాబ్లం. బిలీవ్ ఇన్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. ఎవరు ఏం చెప్పినా కూడా బిలీవ్ ఇన్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. రైట్. సెకండ్ థింగ్, డోంట్ గెట్ టెన్స్డ్. మార్కెట్లో అది చూసి ఇది చూసి టెన్స్ అవసరంలే. హ్యావ్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ ఇన్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు వర్క్. And maintain consistency. Consistency gives clarity and confidence. So what I say again, divide the day into small fragments. Focus on the next work. Don't focus on entire day. Next time immediately act on it. Like this you have to do. Okay. So make sure that you are attending the classes. Revision of polity. What to revise, I'll tell you from class onwards. And then half an hour meditation. CSAT, don't forget everyone. CSAT, we have to focus. And then 1979 onwards, economy bits. Daily some 30 bits you try to do. And then vision test series. 7th test is released. So far 18 tests are released, I think. 20 released. Okay. Okay, 20 also released, Anta. So you can, by the time I complete my economics, keep this as target. And guys, again I am saying, from now onwards, complete focus on studies. Complete focus. ఎక్కడున్నా కూడా స్టడీస్ గురించి ఆలోచిస్తూనే ఉండాలి. ప్రిలిమ్స్ మైండ్లో రొటేట్ అవుతూ ఉండాలి. అండ్ డోంట్ గెట్ టెన్స్డ్. మరీ చెప్తున్నారు, డోంట్ గెట్ టెన్స్డ్. జరుగుతుంది. థింక్ అబౌట్ నెక్స్ట్ వర్క్. నెక్స్ట్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఏముందో దాని గురించి మాత్రమే ఆలోచించండి. డోంట్ గో బియాండ్. సో షెడ్యూల్ యువర్ డే అకార్డింగ్లీ. పడుకునే ముందే రైట్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద థింగ్స్ దట్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డూ టుమారో, ఏం చేయాలనేసి ఒక లిస్ట్ ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకోండి. ఒక మేక్ వన్ డైరీ. So every day before going to the bed, just jot down what are the things that you have to do tomorrow. First slot work enti, second slot work enti, third slot work enti. Don't over keep your works. Don't feel that prati second nenu ili cheyali kaadu. Just be very normal. Oka 12 hours schedule eskunetatlu chudandi prastutaniki chalu. Take relax, don't worry about it. But oka 12 hours minimum schedule undetatlu chusukovali. Clear guys? This is the thing. And from now onwards, as the winter is going, so పండగ అయిపోయిందంటే ఇంకా వింటర్ వెళ్ళిపోయినట్టే. So we can start the classes at 5 o'clock in the morning. Once the subject is completed, we'll start at 4:30. Summer comes, so the next subject I'll start at 4:30. So why I am doing this? So that we'll have much of the day left. We'll start at 5 o'clock in the morning. If we complete by 7, by the time people wake up, you'll be completing one part. That is called being quick compared to others. And you are already in an best advantageous position. You have completed one subject, which is very vital for prelims, right? We have to thank Hari Krishna because he is the person who said to start this subject. Okay. So what you do is you are in a very advantageous position. Don't forget what we have read. ఇంత అడ్వాంటేజెస్ పొజిషన్లో 45 hours 45 days మీరు కూర్చొని విన్నారు అంటే దిస్ ఇస్ నాట్ ఎన్ ఈజీ టాస్క్. సో వాట్ యూ డూ ఇస్ బ్యాంక్ అప్ ఆన్ దట్ అడ్వాంటేజ్. అది అడ్వాంటేజ్గా ఉండాలి అంటే రివిజన్ స్టార్ట్ పడాల్సిందే. రైట్ గైస్, దిస్ ఇస్ ద థింగ్ దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు డూ. సో ఫ్రమ్ నౌ ఆన్వర్డ్ ద క్లాసెస్ స్టార్ట్ అట్ 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 to 7 will be my classes that I will be doing for economics. This is the first thing, and you understood. So before going to bed, త్వరగా వెళ్ళండి బెడ్కి యాజ్ ఎర్లీ యాజ్ పాసిబుల్. Don't wake up beyond 11 o'clock. Morning 5 o'clock లేస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి otherwise day will be dull. Don't push to 12, 1 o'clock వరకు పుష్ చేసి if you are waking up at 5 o'clock ఇక్కడ నిద్రపోతారు, రూమ్కి వెళ్ళి నిద్రపోతారు. ఇదంతా అవసరం లేదు. So sleep at 10 o'clock or 10:30 or at max 11, not beyond it. Go to bed early, wake up early. This is going to work. CSAT, again I am saying don't miss CSAT. Clear guys, everyone, what to do? ఇప్పుడు నుంచి మనం చేయాల్సింది అండ్ ఎంటైర్ ఫోకస్ హ్యాస్ టు బి గివెన్ టు ప్రిలిమ్స్. క్లియర్? ఎస్, దిస్ ఇస్ ద థింగ్ దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు డూ. అండ్ ఫ్రమ్ నౌ ఆన్వర్డ్స్ వాట్ ఐ సే ఇస్ ఐ విల్ గివ్ యూ ఎ పర్టికులర్ స్లాట్. రివిజన్ స్లాట్లో ఏం చేయాలి ప్రిలిమ్స్ అనేసి, పాలిటీ అనేసి ఐ విల్ బి గివింగ్ ఇట్ ఎవ్రీ డే. కంప్లీట్ దట్ టాస్క్, దెన్ ఇట్ విల్ బి ఓవర్. So first thing, tomorrow's work for polity or today's work for polity, you start with part 9, 9A, 9B of Indian Constitution. This is first work. Part 9, 9A, 9B. I'll ask questions. తెలుసు కదా ఏం చదవాలో. Part 9A, 9B, 9P. Bare Act plus equivalent component of Lakshmikant. Whenever I say revision, Bare Act plus equivalent component. అక్కడ ఏమైనా అండర్లైన్ చేయించింటే just go and recap it. This is first work. Second work is ఇది పాలిటిక్ ఎక్స్క్లూజివ్గా. ఇంకొకటి ఏం చేస్తారు, యూ హ్యావ్ ఆల్రెడీ డన్ 1979 ఆన్వర్డ్స్ రైట్ పాలిటీ. సో డూ సమ్ 30 bits రివిజన్, 30 to 40 bits రివిజన్ ఆఫ్ 30 to 40 bits ఇన్ దిస్. ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి మొత్తం? 350 ఆర్ దేర్. సో యూ డూ 35. ఫస్ట్ 35 bits you do revision. This will be over. This is first slot revision. And we have started polity static part revision also. So go for static part revision. India and states. States and borders. First thing, whatever we studied, go ahead with that. States and borders. Mana first all the states, you go through it. Borders em unna em katha. Right? We'll start revision from there itself again. So this is the revision that we have to do. So one is for polity. The second one is static revision will be going on kada. So static revision no, you start doing India and the states. Understood? So like this every day I will be giving you the work. You complete that work. Revision ఎన్ని సార్లు చేస్తే అంత మంచిది అవుతుంది మనకి. Again I am saying don't compare with others. Don't compare with others. Like compare చేసుకొని బాధపడడం అంటే డబ్బులు ఇచ్చి మళ్ళీ టెన్షన్ తెచ్చుకున్నట్లు ఉంటుంది. ఏం అవసరం లే, అవుతుందో అవ్వదు, దేవుడు ఉన్నాడు. డూ బిలీవ్ ఇన్ యువర్ హార్డ్ వర్క్ అంతే. So online students also follow this, whatever I have said, this is going to work. So let's start with our economy. In my last class, we discussed about the following aspects in economy. You did not get this book? Anyone? Okay. So in economy, these are the 18 topics that we have to study, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Basics, national income, planning, LPG, inclusive growth, basics, national income, planning, LPG, inclusive growth, unemployment, poverty, money supply, inflation, monetary policy, fiscal policy, markets, financial intermediaries, banking, insurance, pensions, balance of payments, international economic organizations, sectors of economy. ఇది చదివితే క్వశ్చన్స్ దీనికి మించి పోవు, మొత్తం ఉన్నాయి. టార్గెట్ ఈజ్ 80% ఖచ్చితంగా రావాల్సిందే ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్లో. పాలిటీలో 100% కరెక్ట్ అవ్వాలి. ఇక్కడ ఐ విల్ గివ్ సమ్ 20% ఓకే, తప్పు పోయినా కూడా, బట్ నాట్ బియాండ్ 20%. రైట్. సో we started with basics already. We started with basics where I said about the following things. In the basics, I hope my screen is visible to online students. In the basics, these are the things that we have studied already. Economics ante rules అని చెప్పా, economy ante geographical area అని చెప్పాను. After that, types of economy, capitalism, socialism, mixed economic model, characteristics of capitalism, socialism, mixed economy. ఇక్కడ 2-3 పాయింట్లు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలంటే, క్యాపిటలిజం ఎవరు ప్రపోజ్ చేశారు? చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి చదివిందే ఆడమ్ స్మిత్. ఆడమ్ స్మిత్ ఏమంటాడు? క్యాపిటలిజంలో ఫ్రీ హ్యాండ్స్ ఇవ్వాలి. సో ఫ్రీ హ్యాండ్స్ హ్యాస్ టు బి గివెన్ టు మార్కెట్. సో దిస్ పర్సన్ విల్ బి స్పీకింగ్ అబౌట్ ఇన్విజిబుల్ హ్యాండ్ థియరీ. ఇన్విజిబుల్ హ్యాండ్ అని ఎప్పుడు వచ్చినా కూడా ఫ్రీ మార్కెట్ అని. సో విజిబుల్ హ్యాండ్ అంటే పోలీసులు లాఠీ లాగా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవచ్చు. గవర్నమెంట్ విల్ బి ఇంటర్వీనింగ్ దేర్. సో ఇన్విజిబుల్ హ్యాండ్ మీన్స్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఇంటర్ఫియరింగ్ అట్ ఆల్. Government is not interfering at all. So market forces of demand and supply, will determine the entire production and distribution. Market forces of demand and supply will determine. That is called this one. Next, Marxism. Marxist principle is from each according to their ability to each according to their need. Socialism goes with from each according to their ability to each according to their contribution. This is the thing. Socialism is one form of system where the entire means of production, the goods and services, will be held in the hands of the so-called government. People will be recruited by government employees, and you have to produce for government. This is what socialism is. Right. In preamble also we have found socialism. Preamble lo kuda manam socialism chusam. What is preamble of socialism? Democratic socialism and communist socialism. Two forms of socialism is there. Democratic socialism is Gandhian form of socialism. It says that there can be private properties, along with this there will be government. This is called democratic socialism. But communist form of socialism followed in China is completely different, where there is no private property, entirely it will be in the hands of government. So socialist model is like that. Next one, based on ownership, I have said that we were discussing this component, sectors of economy, right? So based on the ownership, we started saying that there is public and private, based on regulation, organized and unorganized, based on economic activity, primary activity, secondary activity, tertiary activity. These are the things that we were discussing. So what is public sector and private sector? In order to make you to understand that component, public sector and private sector, in order to make you to understand what is public sector and private sector, what we started discussing is, we started discussing about the so-called what is capital, how capital can be pooled. So capital is nothing but the amount that is required to start a business or to run the business. That is called capital. Now, in order to get to the capital, I have two sources. One is from loan market. The second source is from share market. You know the differences between loan market and share market. Who are the players in loan market? Lenders and lenders and borrowers. You have lenders and borrowers. Lenders are also known as creditors. Creditors are also known as bond holders. They are called as bond holders. Borrowers are called as bond issuers or debtors. DEBTORS. These are the people. The lender, the person who is giving money, is not concerned about your business. He has the least risk in the business. Why? Because he will get his principal amount back after the tenure and he will be getting his interest rate regularly. He will be getting his interest rate and principal amount back. Now, when the business is about to close, he is the first person to be honored with. This is the thing that we said. This is the loan market. The second thing is on the share market, also called as equity market. Here the players are called as partners. Depending upon the amount that you have invested, you will be called as a major partner or minor partner. A major partner is someone who has invested more than 50% of total capital. So this is what the thing is. Now, we have concerns about the business. We'll get a dividend for our investments if we are making profits. So what is dividend? The part in the profits is called dividend. Here you will get interest. ఇక్కడ interest అంటాము, ఇక్కడ dividend అనే పదం వాడతాం. So dividend comes when you invest in something, right? డెమోగ్రఫిక్ డివిడెండ్. డెమోగ్రఫిక్ డివిడెండ్ అంటే ఇన్ని రోజులు మన తల్లిదండ్రులు మన పైన ఖర్చు పెట్టిన దానికి మనం ప్రయోజకులమై వాట్ ఎవర్ వి గివ్ బ్యాక్ టు ద పేరెంట్స్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ డెమోగ్రఫిక్ డివిడెండ్. సో డెమోగ్రఫీ పీపుల్లో పెట్టినటువంటి ఖర్చులకి వాట్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ డూయింగ్ బ్యాక్ టు ద సొసైటీ ఆర్ టు ద గవర్నమెంట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ డెమోగ్రఫిక్ డివిడెండ్. Dividend is when you invest in something, whatever you pay in return is called dividend. This is the thing. Now, we have stakes in the business. Manamidaram partners. We have stakes in the business. We swim together or we sink together. Right. Whenever we have high profits, we'll divide it in our proportions. Whenever we are having losses also, we have to divide it. So this is the thing. So when we are about to close the industry, we have to honor first the lenders, and then we have to liquidate the things, and then we have to get back our money. So for you, if you are investing, this is a bit risky option, whereas this is less risky option. Like this, we have these things. So similarly, if I am the government and if you are the private player, and if government is investing more than 50% of capital, if government is investing more than 50% of capital, then that is called that is called public sector industries. Public sector. Public sector is that sector where government has invested 50% or more. Government has invested 50% or more. That is called public sector. Second one is private sector. What is private sector? Private sector is one in which the investment is done by private players for more than 50%. So what I am saying, depending upon the investments, if government has invested and private persons have invested, if in any business, if 100% investment is done by government and 0%, then it is called public sector, entirely public sector. If it is 90-10, what is it? 80-20, 70-30, 60-40, 51-49, 49-51. This is called private sector. Like this, 40-60 private, then 30-70, 20-80, 20-80, 10-90, 0-100. This is called private sector. So what is public sector? In which the majority shareholder is government. Majority shareholder is government. Now look at this. Sometimes what government will do is, whenever it has invested, it will try to go on sell some part of it to the so-called private player. Say for example, in LIC, Government of India is holding 100%. Now what it does, it will sell a part of that shareholding to private player. 100% తను ఉంటే 10% వేరే వాళ్ళకి అమ్మేస్తుంది. Private people will get 10%. Now government share will change to 90, private share will be 10%. This is called disinvestment by government. This is called disinvestment by government. Again, if it is selling furthermore, 20% sell చేసింది, it will have 80. 30% sold, 70. 40% government sold, 60. 49% government sold, 51. So what you are doing? Government is reducing its share and increasing the share of private player. This process is called as disinvestments. Disinvestment. So what is disinvestment? Reducing the share of government and selling it to the private players. This is called disinvestment model. After that, now look at here. Sometimes what government is doing, it is disinvesting more than 50% and it is disinvesting 51. It is disinvesting 51. Government will hold how much? 49. Through this disinvestment, up to here, if it is disinvesting, still government is the player, that is public sector untundi. But the moment it is crossing 50% and if it is selling to a private player, then what is changing? Ownership itself is changing. So ownership changes to private. This type of change in the ownership is called strategic disinvestments. Strategic disinvestments. So strategic disinvestments is disinvesting more than 51% so that the ownership itself changes. కనుక స్ట్రాటజీ వ్యూహం అన్నమాట. ఇది వ్యూహాత్మకమైనటువంటి పెట్టుబడి ఉపసంహరణ అంటాం. అంటే ఏంటి? స్ట్రాటజికలీ యు ఆర్ రిమూవింగ్ ఇట్. Which is strategy? I am converting my sector to your sector, private sector. This is called strategic disinvestments. In normal language, you call it as privatization. దీన్నే privatization అంటాం. Strategic disinvestments leads to what? Privatization. So what is privatization? Converting government entity into private entity is called privatization. Vizag steel plant is getting privatized. You understood the meaning? LIC is going to be disinvested. You understood the meaning? LIC disinvestment antaru. But here it is more than 51% disinvestment. This is called privatization. The opposite of privatization is ఇది ప్రైవేటీకరణ చేయడం. Nationalization. This is the thing that you have to remember from here. Now, until 1991, government from 1947, independence వచ్చినప్పటి నుంచి 1991 వరకు, government of India followed this policy, government of India followed nationalization policies. From 1947 to 1991, government of India followed nationalization. Majority of the things were nationalized because government wants to control everything. Private player కాదు, నేనే ఉండాలి గవర్నమెంట్ మెకానిజంలో అనేసి government used to take up majority of the private things. So nationalization was the model of India in the pre-1991 era. But post-1991, what has happened? Disinvestments and privatization is post-LPG reforms. LPG reforms has taken place on 24th July 1991. So since then you have this one. Since then you have privatization model. ఇది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. So what is capital? Depending upon the capital, how you can pool the capital through loan market and bond market, share market. Loan market ante bond market antam dini. Share market means equity market. After that, what is public sector? What is private sector? What is privatization? What is disinvestment? What is strategic disinvestment? What is nationalization? What is India's model before 1991? What is India's model after 1991? These are the things that we should know. Right. Video is lacking. Okay, Venkatesh. Now I think it will be clear. Right. Now I think it will be clear. So this is the thing that we have to understand. right? Understood? This is called disinvestment. Now, capital can also be of two types. Capital can also be of two types. Fixed capital, working capital. Fixed capital means once you have kept it, it will be there permanently. Working capital means regularly you have to keep it. Take for example, నేను ఒక టీ షాప్ పెట్టా. టీ షాప్కి ఫిక్స్డ్ క్యాపిటల్ ఏమవుతుంది? టీ పొడి అవుతుందా ఫిక్స్డ్ క్యాపిటల్? వాట్ విల్ బి ఫిక్స్డ్ క్యాపిటల్? స్టవ్, గ్లాస్, పేపర్ కప్స్ కాకుండా గ్లాసెస్ అయితే, రైట్, వెజల్స్, టేబుల్స్ అండ్ చైర్స్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఏమవుతాయి? ఫిక్స్డ్ క్యాపిటల్. వన్స్ ఇన్వెస్టెడ్ ఇట్ విల్ బి దేర్. వర్కింగ్ క్యాపిటల్ మీన్స్ రెగ్యులర్లీ, రికరెంట్లీ యూ హ్యావ్ టు కీప్ దట్. మిల్క్ పౌడర్, టీ పౌడర్, వాటర్, ఇంకా బిస్కెట్స్, షుగర్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఏమవుతుంది? వర్కింగ్ క్యాపిటల్. సో వర్కింగ్ క్యాపిటల్ మీన్స్ మనీ దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు కీప్ రికరెంట్లీ. Fixed capital means once you have kept, it will be, the asset will be with you for a long time. This is another thing that we have to understand as far as capital is considered. Now at times what happens is, though I am keeping capital, investment చేస్తూనే ఉంటా కానీ అవుట్పుట్ రాదు. ఎంతసేపు చదివినా కూడా ఒక మార్క్ కూడా రాదు. This is the thing. Now what does this mean? What is happening? Yeah, this is called capital to output ratio. Sometimes what we do is, even though if you are investing more and more capital, output will be still less. Output will be still less. Why this happens is, when you are using outdated equipments, then it may consume more input. Then it will lead to less output. So, whenever your output is low, even despite giving the so-called higher amount of input, into amount input, చెరుకు రసం బండికి వెళ్తాం, go to a sugarcane juice. So what this fellow will be doing? Normally he will be crushing it. If it is a good equipment, it has to give maximum amount of, or extract maximum amount of juice. If the equipment is itself is a faulty one, though you are giving huge amount of sugarcane, but the sugarcanes, the amount of juice that it will come is very, very low. It depends upon the equipment that you are using also. So normally, even if you are giving high input, if the output is still low, it means you are facing high capital to high capital to output ratio. So high capital ఉంటుంది, output will be low. This is the thing, right? So these are some situations that will be occurring also like this. So this is the first thing about public-private capital, fixed capital, working capital. You understood fixed capital, working capital definitions, and then what we have, privatization, nationalization, these things. Okay. After that, next thing, next topic that we have here is this is a thing based on regulation, organized sector, unorganized sector. Based on regulation, organized sector, unorganized sector. Now, what is organized sector? Organized. Ante this sector is highly organized. In what sense it is organized? Employees in this will be having regular salaries. They will be having leaves. If you are working extra time, bonus will be there. And then you will be having pensions. You will be having provident funds. That is social security ఉంటుంది మీకు. And then if you are hired, మిమ్మల్ని ఎవరైనా హైర్ చేస్తుంటే they will be going through a normal process. So that is called normal hiring process. Then if you are fired, బయటకు వెళ్ళిపోవాలి అంటే immediately they cannot send you out. They have to be some notice period. So like this. So you will be under the government regulation. Organized means that sectors have to be under the government regulation. Unorganized sector అంటే గ్రాసరీ స్టోర్లో పనిచేస్తే ఎలా ఉంటుంది? At any time they can call you. Right, morning 6 నుంచి నైట్ వరకు బయట పని చేయాలి. There will be no proper timing. There will be no weekends, no paid leaves, no pensions, no provident funds. ఏమీ లేకుండా పని చేయడం unorganized sector అంటాం. So unorganized sector is that sector which is not under the regulations of or rules of government. But organized sector are that sectors which are organized by according to the rules of government. All the people who are employed in the organized sector are called formal employees. All the people who are employed in the unorganized sector are called informal employees. Recently, we have seen gig workers revolution, right? So Zomato delivery boys, these people, what this gig workers are those people who are working on these platforms, like Zomato delivery boys, Uber drivers, Ola drivers. వీళ్ళందరూ కూడా ఏం చేశారు? Particularly this delivery boys, they have created this movement saying that ఇంత లోపల మేము డెలివర్ చేయాలి లేకపోతే మా రేటింగ్స్ తగ్గిపోతాయి మాకు సాలరీస్ రావట్లేదు అనేసి. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద థింగ్. సో గిగ్ వర్కర్స్ ఆర్ ఇన్ఫార్మల్ ఎంప్లాయీస్. గిగ్ వర్కర్స్ ఆర్ ఇన్ఫార్మల్ ఎంప్లాయీస్. వై దే ఆర్ ఇన్ఫార్మల్? దే ఆర్ నాట్ రిజిస్టర్డ్ అండర్ జొమాటో. ఇదంతా కాదు. వాట్ జొమాటో సేస్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ అవర్ వర్కర్. దిస్ ఇస్ జస్ట్ ఎ వాలంటీర్ సర్వీస్. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు డూ యూ కెన్ డూ. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు గో అవుట్ యూ కెన్ గో. But if Zomato worker is not operative in that day, will he receive his salary? No. Is his salary fixed? Not fixed. His salary will be dependent on how much ratings we are giving, how much fast you are delivering. Informal sector. This is informal sector. So gig workers, GIG, gig workers comes under informal economy. Gig workers means this type of workers. Results make organized. So this is government of India. So organized sector means any any company which has 10 or more employees, any company which has 10 or more employees has to get organize themselves, organize themselves. So this is what organized sector. So formal sector ఎంత ఉంటుంది? If you have 10 workers or more, you have to go for organized sector. This is class 12 economics, right? సో 10 ఆర్ మోర్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ ఉండే వాళ్ళంతా కూడా ఆర్గనైజ్డ్ సెక్టర్ లేక వస్తారు. Now, tell me this, in India, which type of employment is more, organized employment or unorganized employment? Unorganized employment is more in India. So almost 92% of our labor is in the unorganized sector. So just remember it, that is more than enough. Yeah, more is unorganized sector. Welcome back, Sunil. Next. So next one that we have is based on economic activity. What is economic activity? Economic activities are also called as market activities. Based on economic activity, economy is classified into three types: primary, secondary, tertiary. Now, what is this primary, secondary, and tertiary? Primary activities are those activities. Always remember, primary activity ante it has to depend on nature or naturally available products. ప్రకృతి పైన ఆధారపడి ఏదైనా ఒక ఎకనామిక్ యాక్టివిటీ. వాట్ ఈజ్ ఎకనామిక్ యాక్టివిటీ? ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్, ఎకనామిక్ యాక్టివిటీ అంటే ఏంది? Activities of human beings can be classified as economic activities, non-economic activities. What is economic activity? Right? Right? నిద్రపోవడం కూడా ఒక యాక్టివిటీనే, బట్ కానీ దాన్ని ఎకనామిక్ యాక్టివిటీ అంటామా? వీ కెనాట్ కాల్ దిస్ యాజ్ ఎకనామిక్ యాక్టివిటీ. సో యాక్టివిటీస్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ కెన్ బి క్లాసిఫైడ్ యాజ్ ఎకనామిక్ యాక్టివిటీస్ ఆర్ నాన్ ఎకనామిక్ యాక్టివిటీస్. వాట్ ఈజ్ ఎకనామిక్ యాక్టివిటీస్? ఎకనామిక్స్ అంటే డబ్బులతో డీల్ చేసేది. సో ఎనీ యాక్టివిటీ దట్ గివ్స్ యూ మనీ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ ఎకనామిక్ యాక్టివిటీ. దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో కాల్డ్ యాజ్ మార్కెట్ యాక్టివిటీ. This is also called as market activity. Any activity that deals with money is called market activity or economic activity. Now, depending upon from where you are generating the money, activities can be primary, secondary, and tertiary. What is primary? Primary activity is that activity which has to generate income depending upon nature or naturally available products. Nature పైన ఆధారపడాలి లేదా naturally available products like forestry. Forestry అంటే forest available in nature. Hunting, fishing, agriculture, because agriculture is land based activity, land పైన ఆధారపడుతుంది ఇది. Animal husbandry, మైనింగ్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ప్రకృతిలో ఉండే దాని నుంచి మనం తీసుకున్నాం. వీఆర్ డిపెండింగ్ అపాన్ ద నేచర్. యాజ్ ఎ రిజల్ట్ ఆల్ దీస్ యాక్టివిటీస్ డిపెండ్ ఆన్ ద ప్రైమరీ. దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ప్రైమరీ. సో ప్రైమరీ యాక్టివిటీస్ ఆర్ విచ్ ఆర్ డిపెండెంట్ ఆన్ నేచర్ ఆర్ న్యాచురల్లీ అవైలబుల్ ప్రోడక్ట్స్. దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ప్రైమరీ. ప్రకృతి పైన ఆధారపడుతూ ఏదైనా నువ్వున సంపాదించుకుంటుంటే దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ప్రైమరీ. నౌ సెకండరీ యాక్టివిటీస్ ఇస్ those activities which use the output of primary and convert into some other finished product. Which use the output of primary and convert into some other finished product. So where the conversion of primary output takes place, that is called secondary. That is called secondary. For example, production of mangoes. Mangoes produce cheyadam primary activity. Maja produce cheyadam secondary. Mangoes are converted to maza. Mangoes converted into mango pickle, wheat converted into bread, cotton converted to cloth, wood converted to table. All these are going under output of primary is converted into tertiary things, converted into some other finished products. That is called secondary. ekkadaithe process jarugutundo dananta secondary antam. So processing takes place where you are converting output into secondary. So normally this happens in industries, hence industries are called as secondary activities. Next, tertiary activity is that activity which enhances the output of primary and secondary. Anything that contributes for the growth of primary and secondary, output of primary and secondary. Primary and secondary యొక్క విలువను పెంచుతా ఉండే ఏ యాక్టివిటీ అయినా సరే టెర్షియరీ యాక్టివిటీ అంటుంది. సో టెర్షియరీ యాక్టివిటీస్ ఆర్ దోస్ యాక్టివిటీస్ which does increase the value of primary and secondary. So primary and secondary యొక్క values ని increase చేయాలి. Take for example infrastructure like roads. What roads will do? Roads will give connection to the so-called transportation segment from production to consumers. As a result, it is giving boost to whom? The producers, primary and secondary. Banks. What banks will do? Banks will give credit. As a result, it is enhancing the primary and secondary. Right? Electricity. It is service, tertiary sector. Why? By using electricity, we are generating. Here, a service is being produced. So, electricity, through electricity, you are enhancing primary and secondary. Farmers electricity use cheskoni, they will be using for irrigation and they will be producing more. Manufacturers use electricity to produce more. ఎనీథింగ్ దట్ కాంట్రిబ్యూట్స్ ఫర్ ద అడ్వాన్స్మెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ ప్రైమరీ అండ్ సెకండరీ. ప్రైమరీ అండ్ సెకండరీ అవుట్పుట్ని ఎన్హాన్స్ చేయడం కోసమన్నా, దాని డబ్బులు ఎన్హాన్స్ చేయడం కోసమన్నా ఉపయోగపడేటివన్నీ ఏమవుతాయి? టెర్షరీ యాక్టివిటీస్. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ డూయింగ్ సేవ. ఇట్ ఈస్ డూయింగ్ సేవ. ఏం చేస్తుంది? ఇది సేవ చేస్తుంది. దేనికోసం చేస్తుంది? ప్రైమరీకి, సెకండరీకి. హెన్స్ టెర్షరీ సెక్టర్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో కాల్డ్ as సర్వీస్ సెక్టర్ అనేసి అంటాం. సర్వీస్ సెక్టర్. టు whom it is doing service? It is doing service to primary and secondary. Primary and secondary. And it also includes basic services of human beings, like teaching is a service. It includes banking service. Like this, basic services also it includes, apart from those services which are enhancing primary and secondary. This is the definitions of NCERT as far as these three is considered: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Right? So these are the things that we have. Tarvata emundi andro? That's it. So this is the thing. Now let's go for people. Let's go for this book, previous year questions book. We have organized our book in this model only. You can please, those who are new to the class, you find this book in the app itself. You can download it, take a Xerox of it. We are doing bits in this. This book contains 2008 to 2025 bits. And how we have organized? In the table that I have shown you, 18 chapters. In that way, we have divided it. Right, let's start doing it. To go for the questions. So new students have joined. Good, 23 online students. No basic student. With reference to the sectors of Indian economy, consider the following pairs. First question is, with reference to the sectors of economy, consider the following pairs. Economic activity and which sector they are asking. Right, you know what is primary, secondary, tertiary. Storage of agricultural produce, secondary and third. Dairy farming, primary. Mineral exploration, tertiary. Cloth weaving, secondary. What are the definite things that you know here? Dairy farming is what? Primary. Okay, inka em telusu? Mineral exploration is primary. So right beside it, it is primary. It is primary. Inka em telusu meeku? Weaving cloth, is it secondary or not? Why weaving cloth? Cotton nunchi cloth ni weave chestam. So this is processing cotton into cloth. So this is secondary. So mineral exploration is minerals. Minerals వెళ్ళి మినరల్స్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటాయి? భూమిలో ఉంటాయి, ఖనిజాలు. కనుక అక్కడ నుంచి తవ్వుతాం కాబట్టి నేచర్ లో ఆధారపడుతుంది. డైరీ ఫార్మింగ్, అనిమల్ హస్బెండరీ, డైరీ, ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ కమ్స్ అండర్ వాట్? ప్రైమరీ. స్టోరేజ్ ఆఫ్ అగ్రికల్చరల్ ప్రొడ్యూస్, నో వాట్ ఇస్ దిస్? ఎందుకు టెర్షరీ అవుతుంది? యా, వై వి స్టోర్ ఇస్, స్టోరింగ్ పర్పస్ ఎందుకు ఉంటుంది? ఇన్ మెయిన్స్ ఎకనామిక్స్ ఆల్సో యూ హ్యావ్ స్టోరేజ్, ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్, మార్కెటింగ్ ఆఫ్ అగ్రికల్చరల్ ప్రొడ్యూస్. Why we have to store is, we will store so that the market prices will increase and we will be selling when the market prices are up. It is enhancing the output of primary. So storage is done only for enhancement of the output of primary. So economic activity increase avutundi andwara. So this is tertiary activity. Tertiary. So how many statements are correct there? Second statement is correct. Fourth statement is correct. First statement is wrong. Third statement is wrong. So only 2 correct. Only 2 correct. Right. This is 2025 bit, is it? 24. Okay. With reference to physical capital in Indian economy, consider the following. With respect to capital, physical capital in India, consider the following. Now, items category, capital. Farmers' plows, computer, yarn used by the weaver, petrol. They are asking about working capital and fixed capital. You know what is working capital, what is fixed capital? ఇందాక మనం ఒక డిస్కషన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్లో టీ ప్యాకెట్ ఇవి అనేసి చెప్పినాం. సో వాట్ ఈజ్ ఇట్? ఫార్మర్స్ ప్లౌ, ఈజ్ ఇట్ వర్కింగ్ క్యాపిటల్? ఇట్ ఈస్ ఫిక్స్డ్ క్యాపిటల్. ఒకసారి ఆ ప్లౌ కొంటే ఇట్ విల్ బి ఫిక్స్డ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ ఫిక్స్డ్ క్యాపిటల్. కంప్యూటర్, లుక్ కంప్యూటర్ కరెంట్ బిల్ కావాలంటే రెగ్యులర్ గా కట్టుకోవాలి. కంప్యూటర్ ఒకసారి కొంటాము, దరిద్రం అవుతే గానీ ప్రతిరోజు కొనం దీన్ని. సో కంప్యూటర్ ఈజ్ ఫిక్స్డ్ క్యాపిటల్. యాన్ యూజ్డ్ బై ద వివో. యాన్ అంటే తెలియదా? యాన్ అంటే తెలియనప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి? హిందీలో చూడాలి, ఏమన్నా తెలుసా ఏమో అని. రైట్, హిందీలో పక్కనే ఉంటుంది. సో దోస్ హూ అండర్స్టాండ్ హిందీ అట్లీస్ట్ టు లుక్ అట్ ఇట్. ఇంగ్లీష్లో అర్థం కాకపోతే హిందీలో అర్థం అవుతుంది. ఇంగ్లీష్ రాక, హిందీ రాక, తెలుగు రాకుంటే ఇంకేం చేయలేము. దిస్ ఇస్ ద థింగ్. యాన్. యాన్ అంటే ఏంటి? wool type, right? So wool type used by this farmer, is it fixed capital? Is it working? It is working capital. Hmm? Hmm. ఏంటండి ఏమన్నా స్వామి? యూజ్ చేసే సెకండరీ బా. కంప్యూటర్ యూజ్డ్ అంటే, స్టవ్ యూజ్డ్ అంటే ఏం అవసరం లేదు, డైరెక్ట్ అది గుర్తుపెట్టుకో. యాన్ యూజ్డ్ బై వివో, వర్కింగ్ క్యాపిటల్. ఓకే, దిస్ ఇస్ లైక్ కాటన్ యూజ్డ్ బై ద వివో. పెట్రోల్ working capital, bike fixed capital. So this is the thing. So here what is correct? Second statement is correct, fourth statement is correct, rest of the statements are wrong. So what is answer here? Only 2 is correct. Next, 2025 question చూడండి. 2025, consider the following statements. As regards return from an investment in a company, generally bondholders are considered to be relatively at lower risk than stockholders. Bondholders are lenders to the company, whereas stockholders are its owners. For repayment purpose, bondholders are prioritized over stakeholders by a company. Now this year 2025 in prelims, one thing that they changed is this option. ఈ ఆప్షన్స్ కొత్తగా తీసుకొని వచ్చారు. సో ఎవ్రీ ఇయర్ ఇన్ ప్రిలిమ్స్ ఇఫ్ యూ అబ్జర్వ్ సిస్టమేటికలీ, ఏదో ఒక ఇయర్ ఏదో ఒక కొత్త ధనం తీసుకొస్తుంటారు ఇది. సో ఈ ఇయర్ కొత్త ధనం ఏం తీసుకొచ్చారు? రైట్, సో సంక్రాంతి ఫెస్టివల్కి మన వాళ్ళు కొత్త ధనాలు తీసుకొచ్చినట్టు ఇట్లా. వాట్ ఈస్ ద కొత్త ధనం హియర్? విచ్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఈస్ కరెక్ట్? ఆఫ్ ఆప్షన్స్ అగైన్ విల్ ఫైండ్ దిస్ ఇయర్ ఆల్సో. ఈ ఇయర్ కూడా ఆప్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి ఇవి. మినిమం దేర్ విల్ బి 6 to 7 క్వశ్చన్స్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ దిస్ ఆప్షన్స్. ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ఆప్షన్స్. ఒకసారి ఆప్షన్స్ అర్థం statement 2. Only one statement 2 and 3 is correct. One of the statements 2 and 3 is correct, and that explains the statement 1. Neither statement 2 nor statement 3 is correct. ఇటువంటి ఆప్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో జస్ట్ అండర్స్టాండ్ ద టర్మ్ అండ్ దెన్ గో అహెడ్ విత్ ఇట్. సో క్వశ్చన్ చాలా లెంతీ. ఇవన్నీ ఎందుకు ఇస్తున్నారంటే యూపీఎస్సీ టు జస్ట్ ఇంక్రీజ్ ద లెంత్ ఆఫ్ ద పేపర్. లుక్ అట్ ద క్వశ్చన్. ఇదే క్వశ్చన్ కింద మనకి ఎగ్జామ్ హాల్లో ఉంటే ఒక సైడ్ అంతా ఆక్యుపై చేస్తుంది. సో జస్ట్ టు ఇంక్రీజ్ ద లెంత్ ఆఫ్ ద పేపర్ దే విల్ బి గివింగ్ ఇన్ దిస్ వే. సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు బి అలర్ట్ హియర్. సో డోంట్ ఫాల్ ఇన్ టు దిస్ ట్రాప్. క్వశ్చన్ చూడండి, ఆప్షన్స్ ముందుగానే అనుకుంటాం. బికాస్ దిస్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ మినిమం 6 questions will come this year again. Last year around 5 to 6 they asked. So see, this year also we can expect this. So B, both statement 2 and 3 are correct and explain, and both of them explain 1. Both 1 and 2 statements are correct and statement 1 explains statement 2. Only one of the statement 2 and 3 are correct and that explains 1. Neither 2 and 3 are statements are correct అనేసి అన్నాడు. So let's have a look at it. As regard to investment from an investment, as regard to returns from an investment in a company, generally bondholders are considered to be relatively at lower risk than stockholders. Is it right or wrong? Bondholders will, questions అర్థమవుతాయి కదా. Bondholders, stockholder, bondholder is this person, stockholder is this person. So as regard to returns from an investment, returns for you, bondholders are relatively lower risk. This is correct compared to stockholders. Second one, bondholders are lenders. So first statement is correct. అంటే ఏమంటావు? Bondholders have less risk. than stockholders. Second one, bondholders are lenders to the company, whereas stockholders are its owners. Right? Stockholders are owners. Adi majority owner or minority owner and separate, but we are owners. Next, for repayment purpose, bondholders are prioritized over stockholders by a company. That is the reason why you have less risk. Right? So first thing, all statements are correct. So C and D వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. Right? You will be left with both statement 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. Both 1 and 2 statements are correct, and statement 1 explains statement 2 and 3. ఏం ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తుంది ఏంది? So A, both statement 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. Both of them explain statement 1. So రెండు ఆప్షన్లు అయితే ఎలిమినేట్ చేయొచ్చు. So this is A. Bondholders are lenders to a company, whereas stockholders are its owners. Statement 3, repayment purpose, bondholders prioritize over stakeholders of a company. Normally అక్కడ కరెక్ట్ గా ఉండాలి అంటే స్టేట్మెంట్ 3 is the correct explanation of statement 1. పర్ఫెక్ట్ గా ఉండాలి అంటే, బట్ ఆ టర్మ్ లేదు కనుక యూ కెన్ గో అహెడ్ విత్ ఇట్. స్టేట్మెంట్ 3 is the correct explanation of statement 1. So third one, A is correct. Next, national income. Despite being high saving economy, capital formation may not result in significant increase in the output due to. Despite being high saving economy. So since there was no discussion of statement 3 in option B. So since there was no discussion of statement 3 in option B. Yes. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 1 explains statement 2. That is also correct way. Good. Lalit. So statement 3 గురించి అసలే డిస్కషన్ లో లేదు. కొన్నిసార్లు అలా అనేసి స్టేట్మెంట్ 3 గురించి మాట్లాడకపోయినా దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో గుడ్ థింగ్. సో అసలు స్టేట్మెంట్ 3 గురించి మాట్లాడలేదు, 3 స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇచ్చి యూపీఎస్సీ వారు నిద్రపోతే ఇచ్చినట్టుంది క్వశ్చన్ ఇది. రైట్, లైక్ దిస్ యూ కెన్ అప్రోచ్ దట్ వే ఆల్సో. కరెక్ట్. In second option, 3 is not present. Yes. Yes, Indu Rani. That is also one way. Good. So let's go for next question. That is national income. Despite being high saving economy, capital formation may not result in significant increase in the output due to. Capital form అవుతున్నా కూడా అవుట్పుట్ రావట్లేదు. ఎందుకు రాదు? High capital output ratios ఉన్నప్పుడు. High capital output ratio. If the company is having high capital output ratio, which means you are investing high capital, but output ratio is low. Capital to output ratio అనేసి అంటాడు. Capital is input. Output is the value that you are taking. So this is high. This is high means numerator should be high or denominator should be low. అప్పుడే అది హై అవుతుంది ఆ టర్మ్. సో హై క్యాపిటల్ టు అవుట్పుట్ రేషియో అంటున్నాడు కాబట్టి, సో క్యాపిటల్ ఎక్కువ ఇస్తున్నా అవుట్పుట్ తక్కువగా ఉంది అంటే దాని మీనింగ్ ఏంది? దరిద్రమైనటువంటి ఎక్విప్మెంట్స్ అన్ని వాడుతున్నాడు అని అక్కడ. రైట్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద థింగ్. సో నౌ లుక్ అట్ దిస్. Despite being high saving economy, capital formation may not result in significant increase in the output due to. Now what is a high saving economy? Now look at it. Savings ఎక్కువ చేస్తే you can have money for capital only. There is one meaning that it is there in the question. So whenever people are saving more, so normally people can save in your house or you can save in a bank. So normally to fund for the so-called capital. Why? It is the banks which will fund the savings of people into the so-called market. So savings నుంచే క్యాపిటల్ మనకి వెళ్తుంటుంది, మనమంతా ఖర్చు చేయము. Look at this. If you look at national income, నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ లో ఒక ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ మెథడ్ అని ఉంటుంది. నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ త్రూ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ మెథడ్. In the expenditure method, we have to add consumption expenditure of public, investments made by the private, government expenditure, exporters minus importers. This is the formula of national income through expenditure method. C అంటే ఏంటి? Consumption made by public. మనం ఏదైతే కన్జ్యూమ్ చేస్తున్నామో అది. I అంటే ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్స్ మేడ్ బై ప్రైవేట్. G అంటే గవర్నమెంట్ spending. This is export imports. Now C is consumers expenditure. ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ మెథడ్ లో ఎవరెవరు ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ చేస్తున్నారో అంతా యాడ్ చేసుకుంటాం ఇక్కడ. ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ మేడ్ బై ద పబ్లిక్, expenditure made by the private, expenditure made by the government, exports minus imports. Now what happens here? Look at this. If I am getting 1 lakh rupees per month, I will not keep all my 1 lakh for expenses. What I will have the tendency to save. Maybe I will be spending 40,000, 60,000, I save it. Now where I save, you have to save in some financial instruments. Say I am going and saving in a bank. So normally savings means we'll go to a bank and we'll save. Now what bank will do? Bank will accept to this 60,000 deposit and it will start lending to the investors. This is the reason when you have high savings, capital can be available for investments. If you are regulating your money in this way, this is the importance of banks. Banks లేకపోతే సేవింగ్స్ అనేవి మీ ఇంట్లోనే ఉంటాయి. ఎవరైతే ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేయాలనుకుంటాడో దే విల్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ మనీ. దట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్. సో యాజ్ దెర్ ఈస్ అవైలబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ బ్యాంక్స్, యూ కెన్ మూవ్ దిస్ మనీ ఫ్రమ్ హియర్ టు హియర్. దిస్ మేక్స్ ద ఎకానమీ టు సస్టైన్. దట్ ఈస్ ద గోల్ ఆఫ్ banks. So the statement itself is giving you one clue that high savings unte there will be chance for capital formation. But capital formation is still not resulting in significant increase in output. Why? Because of high capital output ratio. ఉన్న ఇండస్ట్రీస్ ఏవైనా సరే ఎక్కువ తీసుకుంటుంటాయి, తక్కువ ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేస్తుంటాయి. దిస్ ఇస్ ద థింగ్. వీక్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటివ్ మెషినరీ. They are saying weak administrative machinery. Capital formation may not result in output because of weak administrative machinery. This is not dependent on administration capacity. So administration strong ga chestunnava, weak ga chestunnava ane dani paina aadharapadu. Right? So weak administrative machinery ante production capacity anochu. Administrative capacity depends upon governance. Idantha governance ki sambandhinchindi. This is related to governance aspects. Good governance jarugutunda leda institution lo, that is what administrative capacity is. But here economic angle lo chudali. So illiteracy, high population density, high capital output. So illiteracy undadam valla we are not producing output ane antaru. Right? Whether this is the correct term here or not. See, there are some industries where illiterates will be producing more. Right? Say for example textile industry, or there will be some leather industry where majority people will be illiterate, but still their output will be high. So illiteracy has nothing to take with output. Right? So you cannot consider this. High population density. Population is never a measure. Population cannot be ascertained for increase in output or decrease in output. Population valla edi cheppalem. So it depends upon the quality of population. Population number entundi ani base cheskoni kaadu. So you can never say something based on just population. Population can never be a tool to say that it is positive or it is negative. High capital output ratio. So indirectly they are asking the meaning of high capital output ratio. Ante question is asking about what is the meaning of high capital output ratio. So the meaning of high capital output ratio is capital formation is not resulting in significant increase in output. That is the meaning. So this question is asking the meaning of high capital to output ratio. This question is speaking about these things. Are you able to look at it now? Screen. Pujita, Shivashankar, Sumant, Pawan, Sai, Shushmita, Sahitya, Rushit, Indu, Srilekha, Abhi, Chandrasekhar, Yashwant, Vimala, Lalit, Vikas, Anuradha, Sai Priya, Rashmi, Venkatesh, Hari, Manaswini, Bhargav Reddy, Sudharma, Sunil. Vastunda? Is it coming now? Emba? Wi-Fi no coming. Wi-Fi is coming. No. No clear. Okay. Wi-Fi is coming. Next, second one. If a commodity is provided free to the government, to the public, then what happens to opportunity cost? If a commodity is provided free to the public, then what happens to opportunity cost? So what is opportunity cost? What is opportunity cost? Right. What is opportunity cost? Whenever government gives you an opportunity through some subsidy, is a problem. That problem. Yes, sir. So what is opportunity cost? Have a look at it. Whenever you are enjoying some opportunity, ఏదైనా నీకు ఒక అవకాశం ఇచ్చింది, how? By giving some subsidy. If government is giving you some subsidy, free money ఇస్తుంది or free money, like amma vadi nana tadi అనేసి something like this, what you can have, this is free money that government is giving into your hands. Government is giving free money into your hands. This is an opportunity that you are enjoying. Whenever you enjoy an opportunity, who is bearing the cost of it? Who is bearing the cost of it? That is the meaning. Take for example, in both the Telugu states and Karnataka, you have this thing that is called free bus service for women, which means women no need to pay the money. for some buses that they have selected, which means that is an opportunity for the women. But there is some cost on this. The money that 10 rupees or 20 rupees that the woman has to pay has to be borne by someone. Now, who has to bear? Is it someone has to bear it? Who has announced it? First case, Siddharamaya has announced it, right? And here, Revant Reddy has announced it, and here, Chandrababu Naidu has announced it. So these three people have to pay, but are they paying from their pocket? Right? Heritage దగ్గర నుంచి తీసుకొని వచ్చి ఇస్తున్నారా డబ్బులు? No. From where they are bringing them? So someone is giving, means if government is announcing some free money to someone is bearing it. So though it is government which is announcing it, the cost has to be borne by this. The opportunity ఇచ్చినప్పుడు cost నేను bear చేయాలి. But what government will do? As they are the heads of the government, they will collect it from the budget and they will allocate it through budget. Now what is the budget? Income of budget is taxes. So someone is paying tax. Through that they are collecting it. Through that they are collecting it. So what is opportunity cost? The cost that the person has to pay. The cost that someone has to pay for enjoying some opportunities. ఎవరికి ఒక ఆపర్చునిటీ ఇవ్వడం కోసం దానికి కాస్ట్ ఎవరి పైన పడుతుందని చెప్పడం ఆపర్చునిటీ కాస్ట్. ఆపర్చునిటీ కాస్ట్ మీన్స్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు ఎంజాయ్ సంథింగ్, టేక్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, if you want to study for UPSC for 3 years, 4 years, opportunity, you are studying for 3 years, 4 years, that is an opportunity, but the cost is being borne by your parents. Cost is paying by your parents. So this is called opportunity cost. నువ్వు ఒక ఆపర్చునిటీస్ ఎంజాయ్ చేయాలి అంటే ఫస్ట్ డే సినిమాకి వెళ్ళాడు, చిరంజీవి సినిమాకి 400 రూపాయలు. ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ దట్ థింగ్, హూ హ్యాస్ పెయిడ్ దట్ ఆపర్చునిటీ కాస్ట్? సో వెళ్ళి అంత బాగా నవ్వుతా సినిమా చూసావు అంటే ఆ ఆపర్చునిటీని నువ్వు ఎవరి ద్వారా సెలబ్రేట్ చేసావు? ద కాస్ట్ ఈస్ బోర్న్ బై పేరెంట్స్. దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఆపర్చునిటీ కాస్ట్. This is called opportunity cost. So opportunity cost means this one. Now, whenever someone is enjoying something from the government, who bears it? If a commodity is provided free to the public, this is an opportunity. Free ga vachina valakanta opportunity idi. If a commodity is provided free for the public, then opportunity cost is zero. Opportunity cost can never be zero. Would enjoy చేస్తున్నావు అంటే opportunity cost can never be zero. Commodity is provided free to the public, then opportunity cost is zero antadu. No. Opportunity cost is ignored. You cannot ignore that. Someone has to pay it. Opportunity cost is transferred from the consumer of the product to the tax-paying public. Opportunity cost is transferred from the consumer of the product to government. Government ante evaru? Prajalu. Government enduku chesilo nunchi it will be the hands of tax-paying public. This is the reason why taxpayers will say that we are paying too much, but we are not getting anything in return. Freebies anta cancel cheyali అని చెప్పేసి జగన్మోహన్ రెడ్డి ఇచ్చింది. అందుకే కదా మేమే ఎక్కువ ట్యాక్సులు కడుతున్నాం అనేసి. This is the thing, right? So the opportunity cost is transferred from the consumers to the taxpayer public. Taxpayers public. Tax-paying public ki transfer అవుతుంది. That is the thing. With reference to Indian economy, consider the following. With reference to the Indian economy, consider the following. The rate of growth of real GDP has steadily increased in the last decade. The gross domestic product at market prices has steadily increased in the last decade. Even outdated questions, 2015 mundu. Now if they ask steadily increase, steadily decrease, nothing is steady due to COVID-19. 1 year period, that is 2019 tarvata. There is nothing called steady increase, steady decrease. So these are all outdated questions. No need to remember now. Right. However, I'll show what is the growth rate of this country. So the rate of growth of real GDP has steadily increased the GDP product at market prices. They asked for 1 decade, but look at here. GDP products, gross national income annadu, net national income. You can consider anything. Take gross national income at GDP at market prices has steadily increased in the last decade. So we are in the year 2025. The GDP is somewhere around 319, 291, 265, 233, 195, 199, 186, 169, 152. This is at current prices. But look at constant prices. So look at it. Current prices aina, constant prices aina. If you observe it, GDP or GNP in the country has not steadily increased after COVID-19. So ఇటువంటి క్వశ్చన్ ఇప్పుడు అడిగే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటే ఒకవేళ ఇఫ్ దే ఆర్ ఆస్కింగ్ టుడే దే హ్యావ్ టు ఫ్రేమ్ ద సేమ్ క్వశ్చన్. సో వాట్ విల్ బి ద థింగ్? వాట్ విల్ బి ద థింగ్? లుక్ అట్ 2018 లో చూడండి 186, 2019-20 199, 2020-21 195. So there was increase and decrease and then increase. So there is no consistent pattern here. There is no consistent pattern. So one thing you can be very sure, if they ask these type of questions today, you can be very sure that they have not consistently increased or consistently decreased. Consistent ga increase ayye, consistent ga decrease ayye ani adugute matram ippudu emi levu. Consistent increase and consistent decrease. Even if you look at the growth rate of the country since 2000, last 10 years, and we are in 2025, 5.3. Look at this growth rate. Growth rate means expression of growth in percentages. So if you look at GNP growth rate, it is somewhere around like this. In 2016-17, 6.9, 6.54, minus 6.2, 9.9, 6.8, 8.2, 6.3, which means 6.9 to 6.5, 6.5 to 4, minus 6.2, 9.9, 6.8. There is no consistent pattern at all. Right? This is the thing. So what is the point that I am making here is, this is an outdated question, 2015. If they ask in 2025 and if they give the same question tomorrow, the rate of growth of real GDP has steadily increased in the last decade ante, or GDP at market prices has steadily increased in the last decade. Last decade means 2019 would untundi andulo. Kanuka last 4 years, 5 years nunchi consistent ga edi ledu. GDP ledu, growth rate ledu. Kanuka neither of them will be correct. So this is kotta question adugute. This is now, if they ask now, this is 2015 question. 2015 lo emaindi idantha avasaram le, leave it. This is current affairs question. So now you can write it there. If they ask this question now, none of the above will be correct. So no need to remember this question because this is an outdated question. కొన్ని ఉంటాయి ఇట్లా కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్ రిలేటెడ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్ని గుర్తుపెట్టుకోనక్కర్లే. బట్ ఇప్పుడు ఒకవేళ ఈ క్వశ్చన్ అడిగితే ఏమవుతుంది? If they ask now, what will be the answer? If they ask the same question now, it will be 0. None of the above. Apparently second statement was correct. Leave it. Second statement was correct apparently, but now none. Okay, just remember it. Next, economic growth in a country X will necessarily have to occur if economic growth in a country X will necessarily have to occur if ఖచ్చితంగా జరగాలి ఎప్పుడు ఎకనామిక్ గ్రోత్ ఇన్ ఏ కంట్రీ ఎక్స్ అనేది ఇండియా అనుకోండి, చైనా అనుకోండి, ఏదైనా will necessarily have to occur if there is technical progress in the world economy, there is population growth in country X, there is capital formation in country X, The volume of trade grows in the world economy. Take for example x place to ఏదో ఒకటి అనుకోండి. Take x is equal to India. Economic growth rate of India will necessarily increase if there is a technical progress in world economy. Technical progress world economy lo unte India economic growth increase avutundi antunnadu. There is a population growth in India. There is a capital formation in India. The volume of trade grows in the world economy. Now look at this. The question is specifically speaking about one country. ఒక కంట్రీలో గ్రోత్ జరగాలంటే ఏం అడుగుతుంది? ప్రపంచంలో ఏం జరిగితే మనకెందుకు? ప్రపంచం గ్రోత్ అయితేనేమి, గ్రోత్ అవ్వకపోతేనేమి, కంట్రీ ఎక్స్ లో ఏం జరుగుతుందో మనకు తెలియాలి. This question is speaking about country X. Hence, options has to be about country X only. You cannot quantify and say that world economy is growing in this way, so I have to grow. No. When the world economy was growing, Indian economy was not growing. So when technology is developing somewhere, that may not result in the development of your country. So first thing, these type of questions, look at the question itself. The logic here is, whenever their question is speaking about one specific country, option should also speak about specific country. So economic growth in a country X will necessarily have to occur if there is a technical progress in the world economy, there is a population growth in X, the volume of trade grows in world economy. World economy lo em jarigina kuda naku sambandham le ikkada. So A is wrong, D is wrong, because question is speaking about country X, options are speaking about world economy. There is no guarantee that whatever happens in the world economy should reflect in X. Right? So that is the thing. So one logic is, when the question is specific, answer has to be specific. Answer has to be specific. You cannot say for one country based on world economy. Next, coming to B and C. B and C. There is a population growth in country X. There is a capital formation in country X. Economic growth ఎప్పుడు జరుగుతుందండి? పాపులేషన్ గ్రోత్ ఉంటేనా? అట్లుంటే ఏమి అందరూ పాపులేషన్ గ్రోత్ లోనే పడేవాళ్ళు, ఇంకా ఇంత చదవడం ఎందుకు? సో దిస్ ఈస్ ఎ పాపులేషన్ గ్రోత్. దెర్ ఈస్ ఎ పాపులేషన్ గ్రోత్ ఇన్ కంట్రీ ఎక్స్ అనేసి అంటున్నాడు. ఈజ్ ఇట్ కరెక్ట్? Population growth can never be a tool to ascertain whether country will grow or not. Population is not a phenomenon. Take for example, during our old days, people used to say population is a big burden for us. As a result, we did not grow. But now what we are saying, population mali kavali manaki anesi antunam for growth. So population is not exactly the parameter to say whether we are growing or not. If there is excess population and if you are not giving them proper skill, it will be a headache for the country. So population as such cannot ascertain whether you are growing or not. It is how population is trained that is important. Population and ichchadu akkada, but skilled population and ichchindante, yes. If they have given, there is skilled population growth in the country. Population kaadu, population skill unda leda annadi avasaram. If there is more skill, more human capital, then that will be converting into economic growth. But if they just say population is increasing, I cannot ascertain whether the country will grow or not. A population lo చదువు ఉండేవాడు ఉండొచ్చు, స్కిల్ ఉండేవాడు ఉండొచ్చు, స్కిల్ లేనివాడు ఉండొచ్చు. పాపులేషన్ గ్రోత్ జరుగుతే కాదు, స్కిల్డ్ పాపులేషన్ గ్రోత్ జరగాలి. Then only we can see growth in the economy. Otherwise, population growth cannot be a tool to ascertain whether you are growing or not. Population growth is not a tool to ascertain whether you are growing or not. Clear guys? Is that the So population growth, ఇక్కడ కూడా ఇచ్చాడు ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ లో కూడా హై పాపులేషన్ డెన్సిటీ చూడండి, అక్కడ తప్పైంది. There is population growth in X. No. Population should have some adjectives, skilled population, unskilled population. That is the thing. Then we can ascertain. So normally at least the population is this issue. So two things that you have to remember here is, technique is, when the question is speaking specific, answer has to be specific. Adi good pettukonepatiki question specific ga oka positive tone lo maatladutundi ante answer kuda specific gaane undali. Next, so there is a capital formation. Capital formation is a good thing, right? Capital unte eppadiki manchide. So capital formation, is it a positive term or negative term? Positive term. Capital formation is a positive term. Growth is a positive term. So positive correlates there. Next, the national income of a country for a given period is equal to what? The total value of goods and services produced by the nation is sum of total consumption of investment expenditures, sum of personal incomes of all individuals, money value of final goods and services. National income can be considered as GDP. GDP is the money value of all final goods and services. GDP is money value of all goods and services. Produced. Money value another important ఇక్కడ. Now have a look at it. What is GDP? So types of national income. National income can be of 4 types: GDP, GNP, NDP, NNP. What is GDP? GDP is the total monetary value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of an economy in a given period of time. So total monetary value is important. So the definition of GDP is extremely important. The total, gross means total monetary value, money value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory in a given period of time. Produced within domestic territory in a given period of time is GDP. G ante gross, domestic ante within the domestic territory, product means this. So types of national income, there are 4 types of national income. All these things can be considered as national income. GDP, GNP, NDP, NNP, all these things can be considered as national income. All these things can be considered as national income components. So in the national income, you can consider these as national incomes. Types of national income is GDP, NDP, GNP, NNP. All these are national incomes. So whenever they ask a question on national income, you can consider it as GDP. You can consider it as GDP is national income. What is the definition of GDP? The definition of GDP is this. The definition of GDP is this: the total monetary value of all the final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country. Within the domestic territory of a country. The total monetary value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country. You just remember this for now. We'll remember or we'll go through the topic later. Right? Later we'll go through this topic. So this is monetary value. Money value అనేది తీసుకోవాలి. Why money value? That I'll discuss later. Next. Which among the following steps is likely to be taken at the time of economic recession? Recession ఉంటే ఏం తీసుకుంటుంది గవర్నమెంట్? Which among the following is likely to be taken at the time of an economic recession? cut in the tax rates accompanied by increase in the interest rates, increase in expenditure of public projects, increase in the tax rates accompanied by reduction of interest rates, reduction of expenditure on public projects. Which among the following steps is most likely to be taken at the time of economic recession? Recession ఉన్నప్పుడు ఏం తీస్తుంది? See, what is recession? Slowdown in the economy or fall in the economy consecutively for 2 quarters is called recession. Growth rate gina fall avutunte 2 consecutive quarters lo danni recession antam. Now, which means economy is in the downtrend. When the economy is in the downward trend, what happens here is economy downward trend lo unte, look at national income through expenditure method. C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So economy is low already. Economy is low. Then people will spend money on recession ఉన్నప్పుడు ప్రజల దగ్గర డబ్బులు ఉంటాయా? They will not have jobs. As a result, consumption expenditure will be low. When recession is there, will private investments will come to invest in the country? No. Will there be much of the exports into the country? Exports will be export more during recession because there is less production, and there will be no more exports. As there is less production, yes, we might increase the imports. So national income will turn to be negative further. So when there is recession, which means less growth in the economy, this will be the consequences to national income again. So consumption expenditure will be low, investments will be low, exports will be low, imports will be high. Under that situations, who has to help your economy? Government has to play a crucial role. So what government has to do is, in order to pull up the national income, government has to invest more or spend more. Government has to spend more. Because private people, దగ్గర డబ్బులు ఉండవు, investors దగ్గర డబ్బులు ఉండవు. Government has money, they can invest and they can pool it. Exporters will not have much exports, importers will be importing. కనుక ఇది నెగటివ్ అవుతుంది, ఇది పాజిటివ్ ఉంటుంది. So this term will be negative. So the total national income will be negative. So when there is national income low, national recession undi ante national income is low. The economy is falling. The economy is in the falling phase. Padipotha undi economy. When the economy is falling, what happens? Government has to step in and they have to pool the money. Government has to step in and they have to pool the money. But if economy is in the good phase, recession loga, if economy is in the good phase, who will be spending the money? Private investors, public will be spending. Manu spend చేస్తాం. డబ్బులు మన దగ్గర ఏం టైం ఉంటుంది? 300 కాబట్టి 350 రూపాయలు ఇచ్చి సినిమా పోతాం. This is during the good phase. Second one is private investors will also invest. Then there will be exports from the country because more people are producing. There will be exports. Imports will start reducing. So when the economy is in the growth phase, people will be taking care of your economy. Government need not take under that conditions. Government has to proactively work when there is recession. It is responsibility of government to take proactive measures to pull the economy upward. So during that period, government has to act. In economy, there is a concept called economic cycle. In economy, there is a concept called economic cycle. You are doing it. Okay. In economy, there is one concept called economic cycle. Now, what is economic cycle? Economic cycle is extrapolating growth over a period of time. Growth of the country or growth rate of the country, growth in terms of percentages is called growth rate. Rate at a percentage. So expressing growth growth rate over a period of time. So growth rate అనేది over a period of time జరగచ్చు. Take for example, last year in quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, we have a growth rate of something like 6.1%, 7.5%, 3.4%, and then we have 0% growth. And then quarter 1 of the next financial year, we have minus growth rate of minus 1.5, quarter 2 minus 3, quarter 3 minus 1.7, quarter 4 0, something like this. Growth rate can be varied. So first, in economy there is a concept called economic cycle. Now what do we mean by economic cycle? Economic cycle anna business cycle anna, this is extrapolation of growth rate over a period of time. Growth rate ni over a period of time ina nuvina extrapolate cheste vachede economic cycle. So what does this mean? Take for example, in one financial year, the quarterly growth of the country is like this. Q1, the growth is somewhere around 6.1. Q2, the growth is 7.5 in terms of percentages. Q3, it has fallen to 3.4. Q3, it has fallen to 3.4. Somewhere like this. And Q4 0, Q5 or Q1 of the next financial year, Q2 of next financial year, Q3 of next financial year, Q4 of next financial year. What is happening here? The growth is still falling. The growth reached bottom. The growth started recovering. The growth started coming to 0, and then again growth rate is going up. So we will be calculating growth and growth rate. First, the economy ఏం చేస్తుందంటే they will calculate growth, they will calculate growth rate, and they will extrapolate a cycle known as economic cycle. What is economic cycle? Drawing growth rate over a period of time. Growth rate data తీసుకొని time period తీసుకొని, if you are drawing it over a period of time, whatever we get business cycle or economic cycle. Now, from the economic cycle, what you are doing every quarter, NSO will announce every quarter what is the growth rate of this country. They will take that data and they will draw a graph. This is called economic cycle. Now, in the economic cycle, what we observe is, in the first quarter, there is growth. In the second quarter, there is growth. Economy is said to be in the growth phase here. Economy is said to be in the growth phase. This is called growth phase of economy. But look at the next phases. What is happening? Economy is falling. Growth rate has decreased from 7.1 to 3 to 0, like this. పడిపోతా ఉన్నాయి. So when the growth rate is falling, this stage is called the depression stage of economy. The depression stage of economy. మనం కూడా అంతే, ఫస్ట్ విజన్ టెస్ట్ 1-2 చేస్తే 40-50 మార్కులు వస్తాయి. బట్ 3, 4, 5 నుంచి 20కి 30కి పడిపోతుంటాయి. ఇంకా ఇంక్రీజ్ అవ్వవు. 30 పడతాయి, 30 నుంచి 25, 25 నుంచి 20, 20 నుంచి 15 ఇలా పడుతూనే ఉంటుంది. ఇంత తక్కువ వస్తే ఏమనిపిస్తుంది? ఇది వద్దు, ఎగ్జామ్ వద్దు, ఏమొద్దు, ఇంటికి పోదాం అనేసి అనిపిస్తుంది. దిస్ ఇస్ ద థింగ్. సో దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యూ విల్ బి గోయింగ్ ఇన్ టు డిప్రెషన్ ఫేజ్. దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ డిప్రెషన్. అగైన్ ఎవరొకరు మీకు ఊతం ఇస్తారప్పుడు, సరేలే ఏం కాదు, ఇవన్నీ కామనే, నాకు కూడా ఫస్ట్ 0 వచ్చాయి, నువ్వు ఇంకా 10 వస్తున్నాయి అనేసి ఎవరైనా చెప్తే మనకు మళ్ళీ ఎనర్జీ వస్తుంది. అగైన్ విల్ బి కమింగ్ బ్యాక్ స్లోలీ అండ్ విల్ బి బౌన్సింగ్ బ్యాక్. దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ రికవరీ. ఒకసారి రికవర్ అయిన తర్వాత అగైన్ విల్ గో ఫర్ సో లైక్ దిస్. Just like our marks also, economy will also be going in this phase. Sometimes it will go in the growth phase. Sometimes depression jarugutundi, malla recover avutam, malla growth jarugutundi. Same thing applies for here. For us it is marks, for here it is money. So national income ante money lo chudali. So here it is money. Last time I have produced 100 crores. Next year I produced 150 crores. Next year, but I was unable to produce 150. I have produced only 120 crores. Next year my production has decreased to 90 crores. Like this. Depending upon total amount that you are producing, you calculate the growth rate. Once you get it, draw the graph. Then from the graph you can understand this. Whenever the cycle is like this is called growth phase. When the cycle is falling, this is called depression phase. Idantha depression phase. This is called depression phase. Then this is recovery phase. Then this is called growth phase. Now, recession means, the term recession means successive fall in the growth rate, for 2 times, for 2 quarters. So for 1 quarter it has fallen, the next quarter is also it is falling. So successive fall in the growth rate for 2 quarters. 2 quarters lo venu ventane growth gina padutunte. That is called recession. Recession is successive fall in the growth rate continuously for 2 quarters. That is called recession. Prolonged recessions gives depressions. Prolonged recessions, recession alane connect avutunte depressions vastayi. Now look at this. So economy can be in the growth phase, economy can be in the recession phase, economy can be in the depression phase or recovery phase. This is the thing. So when the economy is in the growth phase, will the private people will come or not to invest in the economy? Yes, they will come. When private people are coming to invest, there will be some job opportunities for public. Mara good jobs vastayi. As a result, we will get some money. We will be keeping money on the economy, spending. So consumption expenditure of the public will increase. Investments will come. As investments is coming, exports can increase. Imports taggichukochu. As a result, national economy will still further propel. So this is the way. When the growth phase is there, growth unnappudu andaru vastaru, right? Double unnappudu eagalani vachinatlu, right? This is the thing that happens. Bandhulani vastaru, double unnappudu, double lepothe no one will come. Similarly, so when everything is growing, people will come and invest. But the moment you start into depression phase or recession phase, what happens to private investments? Slowly they will not stop coming. Slowly people will lose jobs. Exports will decrease. Imports will decrease. As a result, further it will start falling. So under that time, there is one person called G, government. Now what governments will do? Governments, what they have to do? When the economic cycle is in the growth phase, government may save the money. Government spend cheyanakale. Enduku meeranta spend chestunnaru kabatti enough. So, but when the economy is in the recession phase or depression phase, as you people are not coming towards keeping money, government has to proactively keep the money. So I have to ensure that government, when the cycle is falling, it is the responsibility of people or responsibility of government to take money from its pocket and to spend it. To take out of pocket money and to spend it. So during recession, government has to proactively spend because private people will not have the money to spend. Investors will not be coming forward. Again, when the economy is recovering, slowly government will stop reducing. And when the recovery is done and it is going into the positive mode, then government will save. So growth ayyetappudu government save cheyali, save cheskovali dabbulu. Recession unnappudu government has to spend the money. This is a old age concept. Ee roju nunchi vachin concept kaadu, idi prati nunchi. Take for example in the olden days also, when we were living in the kings and kingdoms, what the kings used to do during famines, the kings used to give some work for the people, asking them to go and dig some canals, to construct the fort walls, to construct some granaries, something like this. So రాజ్యంలో కరువు కష్టాలు వచ్చినప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాడు రాజు? ప్రజలకి కొంచెం పని కల్పిస్తాడు. ఎటువంటి పని? ఫోర్ట్స్ కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేయడమో లేకపోతే గ్రానరీస్ కన్స్ట్రక్ట్ చేయడమో ఏదో ఒకటి ఇలా. బట్ ఇఫ్ ద కింగ్డమ్ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ గుడ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ రెయిన్ఫాల్, వర్షాలు బాగా వచ్చాయి, అప్పుడు గవర్నమెంట్ వాట్ కింగ్ విల్ డూ? కింగ్ విల్ నాట్ ఎంగేజ్ దీస్ పీపుల్ ఇన్ దీస్ వర్క్. వాట్ కింగ్ విల్ డూ? King will let them to go and work in the agricultural fields. అంటే king ఎప్పుడు హెల్ప్ చేస్తుండు? when there is no rainfall. Rainfall లేదు అంటే people will be in trouble. As a result, king is helping. But when rainfall is abundant, people are paying to the king in the form of taxes. King no need to give it to the people. This is the concept. So కరువు కష్టాలు వచ్చినప్పుడు king వచ్చి హెల్ప్ చేసేవాడు. బట్ అదే వర్షం సమృద్ధిగా ఉన్నప్పుడు you people pay to the king. Similar concept here. When economy is in the growth phase, everything will be good. People will have money. People will have work. They will be looking after their own growth. But when economy is under the recession, you have to take care of the people. You have to invest because people will have no money at that point of time. As a result, what government has to do? Government has to proactively engage and make sure that government is keeping more money. That is the reason during COVID lockdown, when the flyover was constructed, steel bridge undi ikkada. When the steel bridge was constructed, major part during COVID lockdown. When this new secretariat building was constructed by KCR during COVID lockdown. When Ambedkar statue was kept during new secretariat, time COVID lockdown. When new parliament building was constructed during COVID-19. Why government of India has invested huge money or government of states have invested huge money during lockdowns? Lockdown unnappudu economy will fall. People will not have job. At least to give some job opportunities, government started doing it. So this is how government will start taking money from its pocket and it will start spending. Thereby, economy will start sustaining. Economy starts sustaining. Otherwise, even if government is not spending, government to spend cheyika, meeru spend cheyika, private people spend cheyika, in etla potundi, depression bills potundi, right? Karke room potundi kindiki, right? This is the thing that it will go. So the point is this. You're understanding? So this is the thing. Now have a look at it. Which among the following steps is most likely to be taken at the steps of economic recession? When there is recession, what is the steps taken by government? Cut in the tax rates accompanied by increase in the interest rates. Cut in the tax rates accompanied by increase in the interest rates. Tax rates cut just evarki profit. Who will get profit if tax rates are cut? Public. If you are earning 10,000, if I am asking you to pay 10%, how much you have to pay? 1,000. If I say only 5% you pay, how much you will pay? 500, which means still 500 will be left. So you will have money. So when the economy is in recession, I have to make sure that you are already not having money. If I collect more taxes from you, will it be helpful for him or for me? No. Because he is not having job already. As a result, increasing the tax is not going to work. So better to cut the tax. At the same time, increase interest rate. Now banks, if they are increasing the interest rate, what happens? Now how private investors are getting the money? I just said no. National income is equal to C plus I plus D plus X minus M. Now what consumers will do? Whatever the money that they have, they will be saving it in the bank. Now what bank will do? Bank will give loans to investors. When investors will collect money from the bank, then the interest rate is low. Interest rate low, investors will come and take the money. During recession, already investors are not ready to come and keep the business. If you are increasing the interest rate, will the investors will come again? No. Already maku interest ledu antaru. Malla interest rate ekku benchinav, inga asalu raavalu vachevalu. So you may cut the expenses of the taxes of consumers and increase the savings. But that the savings, if it wants to translate into investments, you have to give low interest rate. Then this may increase. This may increase. So cut in the tax rates is correct, accompanied by an increase in the interest rates. Is it correct? Decrease in the interest rate, accompanied by decrease in the interest rate. The second one, increase in the expenditure of public projects, government spending on public projects. Yes. Increase in tax rates accompanied by reduction in interest rates. ANC are changing the game. ANC are terms change. What should be the correct one? Yeah, decrease the taxes accompanied by reduction in interest rates. Reduction of expenditure on government projects, wrong. So what government has to do? Increase. When no one is coming, increase in your expenses on government projects. Increase your expenses on government projects. This is the thing that we have as far as national income concept is considered. Right. I'll stop my class here. Tomorrow we'll continue. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. I have one more class at 8 o'clock. We'll be meeting tomorrow. Thanks for joining, ladies and gentlemen. We'll meet tomorrow. So today you complete the task that I have given. You update the task. Not you. You update the task in group. Telegram. ASTRA. Sudharma, Bhargav, Manasvi, Hari, Venkatesh, Rashmi, Sai Priya, Anuradha, Vikas, Lalit, Vimala, Yashwant, Chandrasekhar, Abhi, Srilekha, Pujita, Shiva, Sumant, Pavan, Vai Shushmita, Sahitya, Sai Kalpana, Hindu Nani. Thank you all. Take care. Have a great day.